Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. The updated and expanded second edition of my book, The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments, is now available. Readers can expect to march with Arnie's Army at the 1960 U.S. Open, relive Jack Nicklaus's remarkable 1986 Masters win, and be amazed by the Tiger Slam. The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments. Pick it up where fine books are sold, including BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com.
And we'd like to welcome you back to Football's Family Podcast. Been a couple of days since we've been on here, but I have a special guest, a friend of the program. Would you like to join in and let everybody know who you is?
I'm Travis Creasy. Last time I was on, we were talking a little bit about the draft, which I would say we did pretty good on.
I say that we batted perfection minus the trades.
Yeah,
What happened?
yeah, that's how it rolls, and it's going to be similar tonight with previewing the NFL.
We're gonna do a little bit of the preview in the NFL. I have my top 7 teams and the teams I think are going to be Super Bowl, and you text me yours. We're probably going to be wrong on. There's 14. We're probably wrong on 13 of them.
Yeah,
probably. But we were actually talking before that we've been more focused on the NCAA game that came out because both of us pre-ordered it. I think you got yours a couple days before me because did you get the digital download?
I did. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, or I'd have done that. Dadgummit. But you were saying that you're having some problems with it. I'm playing it on the lowest level because I'm playing as Vanderbilt. And because I can't recruit, even now, number 1 in the nation, beating people by an average score of 100 points, I still can't recruit anybody.
I haven't got to an off season yet, so we'll see. I created a team, the Ben and Travis Echoes, and it's been interesting because I took UConn's spot and so I get all of their. We're stacked, but I get all of their prestige and all that stuff. So I imagine recruiting is going to be awful, if I had to guess.
Recruiting is hard because it goes from the previous lifetime.
Uh-huh.
And for Vanderbilt, I have been undefeated. I was disrespected in the playoffs. I was undefeated, won the SEC, beat Alabama twice by 80 points. Of course, like I said, I'm going to have to ratchet up the difficulty once I get a good draft recruit class. This year, I started out number 2 behind the team I beat in the championship, beat them by 100 points. Finally, I'm number 1, and no one wants to come and play for Vanderbilt. I don't understand it.
Come on, people.
Come on, people. And they say part of the problem is that that my coach, he's in year 2, he has not been rehired.
Gotcha.
I am not responsible for that.
Yeah. You've shattered the glass ceiling. Come on.
There's no glass ceiling anymore. It's almost like there's only so many times that you can. And I'll tell you, I had a guy score about 60 touchdowns in a year and didn't win the Heisman. The defensive player who had like 20-something sacks won the Heisman. It was like, dang, that's got to be harsh for that running back.
Anchor down.
Yeah. He almost beat Barry Sanders' rushing record in the year, and he still didn't win the Heisman.
How many horns down did you flash while the Vandy was on their march?
Let's just say that there was some. There was some.
I've been doing that way more over the last few weeks. Ever since SEC media days, it's always happening, and I don't even know why. I never did it before. Never cared about it.
It's all that Texas talk. Texas was the first team that I was concerned about because I played them first, and then I played Alabama. I thought I'm going to go 2-2 because they're going to just destroy me. Wasn't that way. I'll say this. I looked online today, ended up buying tickets to a ticket to Lindsey Sterling. She's coming to Franklin. She's an awesome violin player. But I also looked on SeatGeek for Vanderbilt tickets. And the Vanderbilt Texas game that they're playing, I don't remember the date, is at minimum $262 for one ticket.
Whoa.
It's not the Vanderbilt player. They're not there for Vanderbilt.
Whoa.
Yeah. My daughter is cheering at the 3rd week of the year, and I can go into Vanderbilt to cheer, and I could get in for $30. But
what needs to happen, maybe, I don't know what I've got going on that weekend, but being a football coach in Tennessee, I can
You can hook
get
up a
some
guy.
Vandy tickets, and I
You can
get
hook up.
two.
You can hook up a guy, and the guy that can get you on podcasts like this high quality podcast.
Yeah, baby.
Well, let's get to it. Let's get to it. It is 9:15 on a Thursday night, and we are talking football. So what better life is this? You sent me a list, so I'm going to let you go. You don't necessarily, because we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because we're going to be right, and there's just not going to be any debate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go to the NFC first.
NFC.
What are your top 7 teams?
Top 7 teams
And
in
we're
the
talking
NFC.
about who's going to be in the playoffs. That's the thing.
Okay, so I have the Bucks winning the South.
I have them number 4, so yeah, they win the South.
I got the Packers and Lions somehow getting the same record. I don't know how that happened.
Well, but who do you have
13 and
winning?
4.
Who do you have
I have
winning?
I have the Packers winning the North,
Okay, I have the Lions winning, but I have the Packers at number 5.
which I'm not happy about. I'd rather the Lions win.
Yeah.
The Niners win their division.
Yeah, I don't
And
think
the
there's any doubt.
the Eagles win their division. Pretty chalk. The South, I think, is probably one of the more interesting, just because I think it'll be up for grabs. But that's my top 4. And then the NFC, I guess that would be the Packers, Lions, right, tie, and then I've got I guess the Cowboys, Falcons, which is kind of a shocker, I'm sure, at 9-8, and the Rams at 9-8.
Do you think the Rams get kicked out this season?
I think the team that I think that was probably, I don't know. The Falcons, I think if there's somebody, of course, I think Kirk Cousins, I got mad respect for Kirk, right? I think that he's a lot better than people give him credit for. But yeah, I would say out of those, the Rams or Falcons are the ones out.
So I was just looking. I'm going through some old football and baseball cards to give my little cousin, and I had a card that I mailed off to Kirk Cousins when he was playing in Washington. It was a Michigan State card. Never expected it back, and I found it. I was like, oh, he signed it, but he put it to Jeremy, so I couldn't sell it on eBay. Like that's the big thing. To me, the Kirk Cousins signing is going to propel them into the playoffs. I wish they gave him some help instead of signing the quarterback out of Washington.
Yeah. They'll have a stacked backfield. Obviously Bijan is amazing, but then you pick up Jace McClellan, which I think is kind of an underrated pickup.
Well, you have to have at least 3 running backs, in my opinion, to be on the safe side. Bijan is a beast, and he'll take the majority of it. But what happens if, like with Derrick Henry going down a couple 3 years ago, you rely upon one guy so much, you have to have the ability to find somebody, in the back.
Yeah.
I have the 49ers being the number 1 overall seed. I don't think there's any way that anybody in the West is going to beat them. I just don't think so.
No, I agree.
I have the Eagles being number 2, but of course this is fluid. To me, 49ers number 1. Lions beat out the Packers to win the North again. But again, if it flips, it's not that big of a deal because I have both of them going to the playoffs. And I have the Bucks going just because I think Baker Mayfield will do it.
Yep.
But then I have the Packers, the Falcons, and the Cowboys. The Rams are on the outskirts. If the Falcons fall, the Rams come in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm very similar, very close on both of those. I think, I've got the Eagles at number 1. Niners 2.
Oh, you think the Eagles will outdo the Niners and
I think their division. I think the Niners are a better football team, but I think the Eagles have a weaker division.
Yeah, the Niners,
the Commanders and Giants are not going to be good.
No, they're not. They're not. That's not saying anything. I think that the Commanders, Jalen Daniels, he is going to be a force of nature.
Yes,
but that's not this year. And I think that the Giants, once they get rid of Danny Dimes, they'll find somebody in this next year's draft, which looks pretty stout too. We're going to talk, eventually we're going to get back on here and talk college football, which you're a whole lot more versed than I am.
Jalen Milroe to the Giants. Well,
Yeah.
no, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
No, I think the Giants will probably pick in the top 3 or 4, and if they're smart, they will figure out a way to get up to number 1. What hurts the Giants to me is the Saquon Barkley.
Oh yeah,
That
I
hurt.
just gutted.
And is he the same running back he was out of Penn State? No. But is he better than what they have now? Yes.
Yeah,
Eagles are
and the fact that he went to the Eagles, like that's a killer.
And I read some of the message boards, and Giants fans are a little bit salty. In case you hadn't noticed that, y'all Giants fans are salty. Eagles fans are saltier, but the Giants fans, and they were giving, several of them were giving them a hard time for doing it. Several was like, good riddance. You're not going to find somebody like Saquon Barkley ever.
No.
Saquon Barkley is that good. So out of those teams, who makes it to the Super Bowl?
If I wish cast, I'd love
let's do that.
I'd love to see Detroit. I mean, obviously, that would be a lot of fun to see. I think they're good enough.
I think they should have been there last year.
They could have absolutely been there, and I was certainly cheering for them. But I think the Lions. I'm wish casting them to the Super Bowl. I think they've got as good a chance as anyone. I think I've probably given the Packers a little too much credit to win the division.
Well, okay. Let me throw this out here. Jordan Love is not playing until he gets paid. Would you pay that guy? And let me say this. After last year, I'm a Jordan Love believer. Green Bay, you have no right to ever complain about quarterbacks ever. Ever. Yeah. I remember Don Mikowski. I remember him. He wasn't bad. But then guess what happens when he goes down? Some guy from Southern Mississippi gets in there and stays for like 40 years. And then you get this crazy guy from Cal who, and I say crazy because I'm right. He comes in there and does what he does. And now you get Jordan Love, which people are like, why did you pick him up? They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. You do not pick up a quarterback the year before the other quarterback goes down. You pick him up 2 or 3 years earlier.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what the Falcons are doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I think they got to have him. I think, I've got him winning, starting off. I can't remember. Some of these teams, they have like the coziest schedule to start. And we all know a fast start is a big deal. And I should have marked them on my piece of paper here, but I want to say the Packers might be one of those teams that will either and I know this is both ends of the spectrum, either they got a cushy start and maybe they can hold out on Love, but or they've got just a murderer's row. But I think they're one of the ones that might have a cozy start. But anyways,
let me see. Okay,
hold
on. They want me to accept the cookies for the Packers. I'm not doing that. I'm going to exit out of there. Sorry, Packers fans. All right. Week 1, Philadelphia.
Okay, no, they are not one because there's a couple in there that it's just like 4 weeks of Super Bowl contenders.
Well, here's the thing: Week 1, Philadelphia. Week 2, Indianapolis. They might go 1-1. They probably are going to lose to Philadelphia. I think they're going to come out like gangbusters. Week 3, Tennessee. That hurts for me to say this. They're gonna beat them. They're gonna beat the Vikings. They're gonna probably beat the Rams. They're gonna beat the Cardinals. They're gonna lose to the Texans. They're gonna beat the Jaguars. They're gonna lose to the Lions. They're gonna beat They've got a really good schedule. They do play San Francisco week 12. I'm sorry, Miami. I don't know. Seattle, not so much. New Orleans, not so much. It's going to be hard for them not to do well this year.
Yeah, I thought they were one of the ones, and then you got teams that they start off with the last 4 Super Bowl. It's crazy unfair, but I don't make the schedules. But I think the Lions have a great chance to make the Super Bowl. I do think that this year is a good year for a dark horse to get on a roll. If the Bucks get in, you never know with Baker Mayfield what might happen.
Let's look at their stats here. Tampa Bay, and by the way, I love Tampa Bay's choice of their insignia, but I like the creamsicle stuff too.
Oh
yeah. All right. See, team No, schedule. Here we go. Here we go. Isn't it great to be able to multitask?
Yeah, I used to could do that pretty good back in the day.
All right, they play Washington. That should be a win. Detroit, they're probably going to lose that. Then they play Denver. 3-2, 4-2, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4, 5-5, 6-5, 7-5, 8-5, 9-5, 9-6, 10-6, 11-6. They could be 11-6. That's not
Yeah,
messing around, you know.
yeah, that's a good record.
I
You know,
think
it's always funny with the NFL to me is you have some you have some divisions where they just eat themselves up, and it's like whoever's on the road that week, and then there's some that it's just a clear cut. It don't matter where it's at; they could play in the back alley somewhere, and this team's going to win. But there's a couple of divisions that are bad, and their schedules are going to reveal it, and then some of them are good divisions, but their schedules, their record at the end of the year is going to be ugly. You know,
well, let's see. The NFC North, the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings are not going to be good this year. I think the quarterback they picked up from Michigan is going to be all right, but he's going to be beat up this year. And the Bears, how much faith you put in Caleb Williams right now? That could be one of those divisions that could be.
yeah, I think they get to 6 wins. I think most of them it's a streaky 6 wins. Like I said, I don't have it in front of me, but I think they're one of the teams that's going to get beat up early and then maybe make a surge, and everybody will be flipping out. Caleb Williams, Rookie of the Year talk, but I don't know that he necessarily finishes at the top per se. But he's got as good a chance as anybody.
He does. He does. I don't think. Of course, I didn't anticipate Houston having two of the Rookie of the Years on their roster this year. I don't see Caleb Williams winning Rookie of the Year just because he is in everybody's sight.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be beat
There'll
up.
be high expectations.
Oh yeah, you throw 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Guess what? That's what Peyton Manning did. And look how he
Yeah.
turned out. I'm not saying Caleb Williams is Peyton Manning, but don't. It's just not enough time. So who do you see coming out of that again? You have
Uh,
the Lions as a wish list, but who do you think actually is going to come out of it?
I'm tempted to say the Niners or the Eagles, but they've been to the Super Bowl already. You know, it's kind of hard for me to take those guys because you think at some point it's going to stop being a rematch with the Chiefs, or maybe you'd like to see somebody else.
Now I'm okay with the Eagles or the 49ers making it. It's the Chiefs that I have a problem with.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think, and I don't think we have much say in that at all.
no, no. I think I'll stick with the Lions. I
Okay.
think they got enough chip on their shoulder, and you know they're going to play tough, and he's going to. I just feel like some point uh, the questionable, the gutsy call is going to pay off in a big way somewhere, somehow.
I don't. They made a big deal about Dan Campbell doing that. That game, was it Christmas or Thanksgiving that they made a huge deal about it? He should have kicked the extra point. He should have
Yeah.
kicked the extra point, and they would have won that game. It was against the Cowboys, was it? No.
Cowboys was the conspiracy theory,
Yes.
where
Yes.
they illegal number or something
That was
crazy
it.
like that.
That was it. That was it. It's like, all right. By the way, NFL, you messed that up.
Botched.
You botched that big time. I have the 49ers making it, but I don't think it's any stretch of imagination to see the Lions pulling it out. I really don't.
I'd like to see that. I mean, as much as I love Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, um, you know, and I like the 49ers. I like Brock Purdy. I like the Lions a whole lot, and I think they only got better in the draft. They got Terrion Arnold on defense. And you know, Jameson Williams is, I think, should only get better 1 year removed from his ACL.
Oh my gosh, that guy, he has every bit of the tools that you can imagine. And running backs are very much, you think
The,
it doesn't.
the
But
only issue with every one of those teams, you know, you look at quarterback and who can match Mahomes, but I think that's the problem. The Ravens last year in the playoffs, which is a big, huge deal. We'll get to the AFC, I'm sure. But they tried to beat Mahomes at his own game. They tried to have Lamar Jackson outthrow him. And I'm like, no, you have to stick to your guns. And for some reason, it's I got to match Mahomes pass for pass. It's like, not if you're a good running team. And I feel like the Eagles, Lions, and Packers or 49ers, all those teams would try to maybe not Dan Campbell, but I mean, all those have questions. I mean, Purdy and Hurts and Goff are fine, but you got to slay the beast, and maybe Mahomes in there. Who knows what?
I don't
Maybe he's not
see.
there.
Well, I'm looking at the quarterbacks there. There's Mahomes and there's everybody else.
Yeah.
And I don't see anybody in the NFC quarterback wise can take him. Now, the Chiefs themselves, I think the 49ers can beat the Chiefs. I think the Lions can beat the Chiefs. I think the Eagles can beat the Chiefs. But the big man on campus is hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, AFC. Now, I bet you and I will differ a bit on this. And I think it's more in AFC North.
Yeah.
All right. So, number one, who do you have?
The overall AFC or out of the North?
Yeah. No, overall.
I got the Chiefs at 14-3.
I don't think that you would be dumb to go against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think that division, I think the Chargers make a jump. I think the Raiders, for some reason, I feel like they're going to be better. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a Raiders fan at heart, old school. The autumn wind is a pirate, but I feel like it'll be a little bit better, but it's not going to be enough to dethrone the Chiefs coming out of there. I got the Chargers second in the division, followed by the Raiders and the Broncos, who also I feel like make a leap.
The Broncos, guys, it hurts me to say this. I grew up a Broncos fan because we didn't have a team close by, and Elway was my guy. $85 million in dead cap is going to hurt 3 or 4 years from now. It's going to hurt in the 2 years, but man, when you look down, it's like what we were talking about a minute ago with recruiting. If you cannot recruit early and build up your team, you're going to suffer within 3 or 4 years. $85 million in dead cap is insane to get rid of somebody. It's like the Brock Osweiler thing a few years ago with the what was it? The Browns were willing to give up things, or was it it was somebody that was willing just to take it on just to get rid of him. Good night.
That's bad. It's bad.
But it's Walmart. Walmart can afford that. They just raised the rate on the bags that they give us. Hey, speaking of which, I just got an email. AT&T, if you're listening, I just got an email saying they're raising our phone rates $20 per line just to do it.
Ooh, that's no good. I probably got that email too.
So hey, inflation, maybe not. The Chiefs are number one. Number two.
And I've got 3 teams at 12-5, which is impossible. Impossible. I have the Dolphins actually winning the division.
Oh, the East. Wow.
I got the Dolphins winning the division by 1 game, and hold on to your horses over the Jets. I'm crazy.
Oh, okay. So where does that put the Bills?
The Bills would be at 10-7.
Boy, and then the let's see, the Patriots at 1-1.
They're like
16.
4-13, I think.
That's like, do you remember Tecmo Bowl Super Bowl? You remember that game? Yep. That was the worst team I've ever seen on a video game. It was the 90 Patriots right before Robert Kraft bought them. They were awful. And now we're experiencing, you Patriots fans who grew up from 2000 on, who thinks it's your true fans. This is a Titans fan talking here. You're not a true fan until you experience the darkness that's coming upon you. Just listen to me. Okay? I have been through the darkness, and I'm there now. So don't.
And you deserve it for what you did to Mac Jones. But anyways.
It's coming from an Alabama fan right over here.
Anyways, I got the Dolphins winning that division, and it's a dog-eat-dog. Top of the 3, I think they each beat each other once.
So you have them number 2?
The Dolphins, well, I would say, I guess number 2 is going to be the Ravens, and that's me being a homer.
Okay.
But the Dolphins and Ravens, both 12-5. I got the Bengals at 12-5.
Wow.
The Ravens getting the nod.
Oh, because they probably beat the Bengals at least. Yeah, at least once.
and then the Texans, sorry, winning the South.
Don't give me sorry. Don't give me sorry. He sent me a list of the teams, and I think you have the Titans at what, 4-13?
5-12.
Don't give me. That doesn't make it any better. Go ahead and make us 0-17 and just give us the number 1 draft pick so we can draft another offensive lineman.
There you go. There you go.
All right, so you have your top 4. Who do we get number 5?
Number 5, let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess the Texans or the Bengals, depending on how you rank winning the division.
Yeah.
Would tie there, and then I've got the Steelers, Chargers, and like I said, the Bills going 10-6. I guess the Jets would be 11-6. They would be.
Now that's a team right there I wouldn't want to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If the ACL stays on, I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs.
If they could protect him, and I think they beefed up their line. Hopefully, surely they beefed up the line for the Jets.
That was so much of a fluke. So much of a fluke. Aaron Rodgers, no matter how out there he is probably one of the best quarterbacks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
All right. So who do you have going to the Super Bowl out of the AFC?
I have a hard time seeing the Chiefs doing it again. At some point it feels like, and I believe in Jesus, I don't believe in any other gods, but it just seems like the football gods have to step in at some point, right? And
Enough's enough.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, there's got to be some bounce of the ball or something crazy. And I'm not wishing any injuries on Patrick Mahomes by any means. I want to make sure that's clear. But, I mean, it would be crazy. I mean, I guess we saw it with the Patriots. But even then, right? Like, we're undefeated. And then Eli Manning and the Giants pull off some crazy. It's bound to happen. One night it will, to almost quote Garth Brooks. It's got to happen. But I mean, how can you, as you mentioned, how can you pick anybody else until that happens?
And then you have, so who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
I've got whoever, I think whoever comes out of the AFC is going to win it. I will be cheering for the Lions, and I usually cheer for the NFC for some crazy reason. But I guess it would be the Chiefs. I'll go Chiefs, or why not? I'll just show the Tua love. He's probably going to get hurt. He won't get close to 12 wins. But I think that offense takes a huge leap this year, and even more leap.
Yep. He's a better quarterback than people give him credit for. He really is.
Yeah. If he can dodge playing in the cold, which doesn't look like that's going to happen with my current playoff layouts.
All right, I have the Chiefs number 1. As much as I hate to say this, I have the Texans number 2 because I think I'm a CJ Stroud fan. So many good things about him. So many good things. And then Will Anderson is just a beast too. But they have a really good team. And I'm just looking right here. I've had this on my desk for a year. I've been meaning to send it to him. This is D'Amico Ryan's card that has his uniform in it.
Nice.
And I should have sent it to him now. It's not going to work. He'd probably not get it, so I'll move it over here. I believe in him. Now,
oh yeah.
Does that mean that they're going to beat the Chiefs? It's better to not be low on the numbers here, guys. Finish higher in the rankings so you do not have to play them immediately off of the bye.
Yeah.
So I have the Texans winning the South. I have the Bengals winning the AFC North. Not by much.
Yeah.
Because Lamar Jackson, as much as I'm not a Ravens fan, Lamar Jackson is one of my favorite guys. He is awesome. He is awesome.
I'm just trying to figure out, who do you key on? Do you want Henry running the ball? Do you want Lamar running the ball? I mean, if they got a guy who can catch a slant, the RPO game is going to be nuts. I mean, if you had somebody with speed in that spot, I don't know if they've got anybody or not. True Ravens fan over here who doesn't know.
Well, I should know enough about the Ravens because I talk about them all the time. I'm not a Ravens fan because of what they did to my Titans in 2000. I'm still holding a grudge that long from ago.
I think that's when I left the Titans fan base. I think that's when
I see how it is.
I'm out. I'm going to join the Ravens. Just kidding.
Done. You're done. Let's look at this real quick because our time is running short. Thank again for coming on. We got team here. I don't want to subscribe, Ravens. Golly, I don't want to subscribe. Leave me alone. Wide receivers. Nelson Aguilar is one of the receivers. He's 10 years in. I like him. Mark Andrews is pretty good too.
Oh,
Rashad Bateman would be your slant guy. He is insane too. Um, I like Rashad Bateman. He's a really good player. Zay Flowers, there you go. That's the guy.
okay, gotcha.
He's
Well,
five
that makes a
nine.
difference.
He's 5'9", 175, but boy, can he scoot. And that Kyle Hamilton kid they got a few years ago, good gracious. Now, it hurts me to see Derrick Henry anywhere but with the Titans. But you can't key on him. Lamar Jackson is just a monster.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the Bengals going. I have Miami winning the South. Then I have the Jets at number 5, the Ravens number 6, and the Bills number 7. And
Wow.
yeah, you and I have a lot similar.
You got some love for the Jets. I don't even know where it's coming from, other than Aaron Rodgers, right?
Now, the Jets, because you look at if he plays the way that the Jets team is built, they should be contending for the top spot in the East. They should be contending for the top spot.
And who could do it? The old man could send Mahomes to the
He
home.
could. He could. He could
know.
just stay healthy. I have the Chiefs or the Bengals winning the AFC, and then I have the 49ers winning the Super Bowl.
Gotcha.
I have
Who'd you have winning the AFC?
either the Chiefs or the Bengals. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I think if Joe, my mind went blank. I'm seeing pictures of him now. He looks like Dustin Rhodes. Joe Burrow.
Burrow.
Yeah, if Joe Burrow stays healthy, I don't think that the Bengals are going to. I think they're going to just roll.
Yeah,
I could see the Bengals flipping with the Chiefs.
that would be a fun change-up. How about a Lions Bengals matchup? That would be
even better.
The consummate almost, right?
Even
I guess
better.
the Lions aren't almost.
Even better, the Lions and the Bills.
Yeah.
Just
Wow.
Yeah, one is going to win. The Bobby Lane curse will be lifted, or the wide right will be forgiven.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantasy booking, the NFL.
Well, they're already figured it out. Have you seen
the script is out by now.
Yeah, it's already out. They already know who's going to do it. So, buddy, I am thrilled to be not only on the Sports History Network, which is the primary one, but I'm also thrilled to be on the ministry.
Yeah, man. Welcome aboard.
Yeah. And I love it because the Ministry League has its app, but the Sports History Network is my home, and it's what I've enjoyed. Arnie's got me on and got me a chance to do this, but I also like being able to talk with people like you. And we're going to have you on again with the college, but being in this particular arena, we're going to talk more personal things and deeper stuff eventually when football season starts, and we both have to repent about things that we thought. We're going to come on and talk.
All of it. Just throw it away.
Hey, what system do you have?
I have a PS5, PlayStation 5.
Why aren't we playing right now?
I don't know. Because I don't want to get beat, maybe.
You're not going to get beat. Trust me. I played a friend of mine. We did random, and I was like, holy cow, I'm not good. And then the other one, I think the last game we played, we had 10 turnovers. We were awful.
Yeah.
King Daddy J, man, just look for that.
They got that lateral button on the top of the controller you got to stay away from.
I found that out, and I didn't realize that's what it was. And I pressed the button because I thought I was juking, and they just dropped the ball right on the out of bounds line, just right there, and it moved over to the left, and I was okay. But I was like, I freaked out a little bit because that was a scoop and score.
It cost me a W. Cost me a win.
Did it really? Because you found that out the hard way, huh?
Yeah, I found out the hard way. Cost me a W.
Well, Travis, thank you for coming on, my friend.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, thankful you're on the Ministry League. I think you and another football-centric podcast joined on, and I've got the good old-fashioned dislike that'll be kicking up soon, talking about rivalries and history and why we like one team versus another based on team colors and mascots or something crazy.
Try to be positive, but every now and then venom will be spewed. It just will happen, and you just got to let it happen. Because
Go
I
with
say
it.
there are 3 things in the South that can divide a family. 3 things in the South: religion, politics, and college football. And all 3 of those things, when you let them all out on Thanksgiving, oh my goodness, you might as well just go ahead and call it a day.
It's a rumble.
Well, take it easy, buddy, and thank you. We'll get you on soon for college football.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. God bless you.
And thank y'all for listening to Football's Family.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, aka the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you gotta do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.